announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Listen up, you blind slapnut.
If I can be serious for a minute.
This is the Flex Network. This is the Flex Network. Flex on them. Flex on everybody.
The real reason I came here tonight is because we are live!
We are NXT.
It's go time, folks!
Sweet! A little bit of the bubbly.
The preceding announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
For life.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all the ages, it is Thursday night, and wait a minute, there's no football tonight, so there shouldn't be a reason you should not be tuning into this show right now, as we are live on the Flex Network. We are live on Facebook. We are live on the Twitter, and I don't actually can't say live on Twitter because right now is not liking it right now. So, but we are live on YouTube. It is that time of the week again. It is the Wrestling Weekend Review show here on the Flex Network. I am the SnowMan, and we had a lot of things go down this week. We had night 1, night 2 of the draft. The landscape has changed with the WWE. We're on the road to Hell in a Cell. We're also on the road to Halloween Havoc. And of course, we're getting so close to the end of the G1 tournament going down to New Japan Pro Wrestling. A lot of great things coming up on the horizon, but let's get to the weekend review show here as we are live. Yes, we're live and in living color. So let's surprisingly, again, another week and no short amount of news. So it's just going to be boom, quick, and we're through. But because we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about what happened on the draft this past week, and just a lot of crazy things going down. I guess Twitter's not liking us right now, so let's try to see if we can try that again. Nope. I guess Twitter is not liking. For some reason, Twitter today is just saying, we don't want to go live. We do not want you to send tweets out. We don't want you to do anything. So if you were supposed to come on from Twitter to come and check out the show this week, sorry. I don't know why it's not working. It's just being a bug. So, and my Raven just died again. Okay. So, quick little news to get through. WWE apparently has extended their stay in the Thunderdome down in Orlando. They will be through an extra 4 weeks, so they will not be leaving at the end of October. They will be staying at least through Survivor Series, I want to say, is what I've been hearing, is that they will be at the Thunderdome through Survivor Series. So that's great. Granted, with the NBA season possibly getting pushed to start maybe next year, maybe December-ish. So by the time WWE gets out of there, season will be starting back up, possibly. So it'll be good. I mean, granted, they just got done with renovating NXT, the Performance Center. So I don't know what their thought process is going to be once they can get figure out the scheduling with NXT and Raw and SmackDown if they have to go back to the Performance Center come December or middle of November. So a lot of things can go. And then, of course, Finn Balor gave us an update on his busted up jaw. He revealed on his Instagram and Facebook that he had revealed in a post that one of his fractures had gone into his tooth. So they had to remove that tooth. His jaw was then wired shut to restore the bite and help align his fractures. And then the surgeons screwed in 3 plates to fixate the fractures and and the former Universal Champion confirmed that there was no additional wires needed for the operation. So that's good. Again, we don't know how long he's going to be out for because obviously that jaw's got to get healed and he's got to get motion back into that jaw. So because he looked like he swelled up a little bit, just swelled up a lot in that post. But otherwise, that is the big news of the week for this Thursday. Again, I said not a whole lot because we're going to be talking about what went down this week on the draft. So again, if you did not watch Friday, if you did not watch Monday, you know what time it is because when you hear the woo, it's spoiler alert time. So we're going to talk about the draft and what went down this past week. We know that the landscape's changed. Raw kept the WWE Championship. They kept the U.S. title on their brand. They kept the Raw Women's Champion on their brand. And surprisingly, we traded tag champs because Raw drafted the New Day. And I was skeptical beyond belief that they changed the New Day over to Raw as SmackDown Tag Team Champions. And not only switch tag team champions, but break up the New Day itself with Big E staying on SmackDown. That was the biggest shocker of last Friday night. I mean, literally, Twitter blew up with the fact that Big E is staying on SmackDown. Xavier and Kofi, the returning Kofi and Xavier Woods, new SmackDown Tag Team Champions, got drafted over to Raw, and just leaving Big E out to dry as the lone New Day rep is still on the blue brand. It was just shocking. But SmackDown did keep the Universal title on their brand. They kept the IC title. They kept their women's title on the brand. And they got the Raw Tag Team Championships on SmackDown, the Street Profits. So that was, again, another shock. But, thinking, how the heck are they going to do that? Are they going to appear on both shows where if they lose the titles, they're going to go back to Raw. They're going to go back to their brand of draft choice of where they were at. No, they did the simplest thing that anyone could have ever thought of, and that was on Raw this past week. They switched. They basically had the New Day and the Street Profits hand over the correct branded titles that they now represent. So Raw is now represented by the New Day, and SmackDown is represented correctly with the Street Profits. So, and yeah, Corey, I was checking in on here. My boy CG, Corey Garcia. Yeah, crazy draft, to say the least. It was a very crazy draft. But let's run down quickly what the new rosters look like as of right now. For Raw, Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley / and the Hurt Business, R-Truth, 24/7 championship still on. AJ Styles, The Fiend, Randy Orton, Braun Strowman, Riddle, Jeff Hardy, Keith Lee, Ricochet, Elias, Sheamus, Angel Garza, Humberto Carlo, Drew Gulak, Tucker, Dabba-Kato, Titus O'Neil, Akira Tozawa, and the Ninjas. Obviously, probably. More than likely that'll happen. Riddick Moss, and Arturo Ruiz. I cannot say his name. I obviously chop up his name bad. That is the men. And then, so with the men, we had AJ, we had The Fiend, switch brands. We had Riddle, Jeff Hardy, Elias, Sheamus, Drew Gulak, Tucker. And again, the heavy machinery got split up. Heavy Machinery is now split up. Another tag team gone from the ranks right now. Titus, actually, I would not say Titus O'Neil that much. But yeah, a lot of the guys got traded. Oh yeah, of course, New Day. Those are a lot of people coming over from SmackDown. Not gonna lie, that's a lot of people coming over from SmackDown, at least for the men wise. And of course, Miz and John Morrison, and Lucha House Party. That's crazy. That is just crazy to see that. And not with Kalisto. So Kalisto is now, I guess, now no longer with the Lucha House Party for the moment, or for the time being. Tag team that came over. New Day, the Hurt Business, they're still there on Raw. Miz and John Morrison, Retribution, all the members. And Lucha House Party. That is your tag team division right now. 5 tag teams. At least, that's what they're classifying, the Hurt Business and Retribution. They're classifying them as a tag team. The women, Asuka stayed, so she is still the Raw Women's Champion. Charlotte switched brands. Naomi switched brands. Alexa Bliss switched brands. Nikki switched brands. Peyton Royce stayed. Lana stayed, and Lacey Evans switched. That is a lot right there, just on the women's side. That's actually, sorry, Charlotte stayed. She was Raw before the brand, while she was gone off the for her rest and relaxation for a while. So a lot of women switched over. 8 women in total are now on the men, or on the Raw side of the brand. And then the women's tag team titles are staying on Raw. Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke staying on Raw. Actually, Dana switching spots as much. And then free agent, that one of the free agents that was picked up, Eric from the Viking Raiders, while his partner is, inactive because of medical reasons, so he was not drafted as well. So that was Raw. A lot of great selections for Raw. 22 men, 8 women, 5 tag teams. 8, 9, 10, 11. 12 women and 22 single men and 5 tag teams, and then of course the free agent. So that was a good draft pick for Raw to get these guys. Raw's going to be very interesting, to say the least. SmackDown, on the other hand, they got some good, interesting picks. Roman still Universal Champion. Sami Zayn kept the still IC champion, so he's staying on SmackDown. The big shockers: Seth, Kevin Owens, Aleister Black, Apollo Crews, Otis Sustain, Murphy, Lars Sullivan, the returning Lars Sullivan. That one was a shocker, to say the least. Dolph Ziggler, Robert Roode, Rey and Dominic Mysterio, and the Riot Squad all switched brands during the draft. That was just crazy, to say the least, literally. Let's see. Daniel Bryan got drafted. That was cool. He's staying on the blue brand. Jey Uso staying. Big E is staying. Otis is staying. Kalisto staying. King Corbin and Shorty G stayed. Bailey's still there. Sasha's still there. Bianca switching. Carmella staying. Natalia switching. So the tag team of Natalia and Lana are done. Men's tag team. You got the Profits who switched sides. Cesaro and Shinsuke stayed. And, Dolph and Rude. Ray and his sons getting switched. And then free agents, they picked up Billy Kay, Tamina, and Zelina Vega. So SmackDown did okay. I will give it that. They did okay in the draft. Probably gonna, I don't know what they're gonna be thinking on with SmackDown only having 15 singles wrestlers right now, 4 tag teams, 5 single women's wrestlers, and then of course the Riot Squad as their lone tag team over there. That's actually a tag team. And Billy Kay, Tamina, and Zelina Vega. So that's going to bolster, I'd say that's going to bolster their women's roster right now. It's going to bring some interesting dynamics to what is going to be happening on SmackDown. The only bad thing I think about this whole draft is that Seth, Murphy, Ray, and Dominic now bringing their rivalry over to the Blue brand, which I am not 100% behind because it got tedious and got dragged through, and I'm still, if they still continue this over here on SmackDown with everything, then I feel like that was just a waste of draft picks to bring Seth, Murphy, Ray, and Dominic when they could have kept some SmackDown superstars that are now over on Raw. So that's just my thing. So again, there's a lot of great picks that, a lot of people switching brands this year. So should be interesting. And of course, a lot of people not getting picked up, so they can still sign whichever brand they want. That's free agents. So it should be very, very good next little while to see who is going to go where with these free agents and where they're going to sign which brand they're going to sign to. But let's get into that SmackDown. Let's actually talk about not the draft, but let's get into what happened on SmackDown this past week, as we are now officially on the full-fledged road to Hell in a Cell this coming actually in 2 weeks. Literally 2 weeks, guys. We're coming up on Hell in a Cell, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. SmackDown this week, we had Big E taking on Sheamus in the Falls Count Anywhere match. Obviously, to blow everything up with that, it was a great match. A lot of, just destructiveness between these two in, all around the Thunderdome, using cars, the catering. Just Big E looked like freaking Casper the Friendly Ghost by the end of that night. Sorry, at the end of that match. It was just fun to see. Big E picking up the victory on Sheamus in a great match. And we got to see Xavier and Kofi make their return. We're going to talk a little bit about that in a couple minutes, or in a short little bit. Jeff Hardy, Matt Riddle taking on Miz and Morrison was a great match between these guys. Jeff and Matt Riddle picking up the victory. Out comes the Freak to return. Lars Sullivan returning for months, a months-long hiatus. And yeah, Corey, and yeah, it's right now. We're gonna get into Hell in a Cell in a few, because it's looking great. It's looking good right now. It's looking great for this year for Hell in a Cell. Sasha one-on-one for the women's title with Bailey. Didn't end the way that she wanted, because Banks wins via disqualification, but still gets that ass whooping in on Bailey and sets up for their next match coming up. New Day challenging for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships in their first match back off of injury, and Xavier Woods' first match back since last year when he got injured at a house show, tore his Achilles. He's been out for a year, and it was a awesome match to see Xavier move around again, get back into his groove, like he never left. It's like he never left. Kofi coming back from his rib injury that he's been on the shelf for like what 6 weeks. So and they won the SmackDown tag titles only to celebrate and then be told, hey, final round, you guys are no longer a 3-man group because Xavier and Kofi, you're going to the Red Brand, and Biggie, you're staying here on SmackDown. And then we had The Fiend and Kevin Owens going at it one-on-one. Really like this one. It was real good. The Fiend picking up the victory over KO, and that was SmackDown this past week. But we do know what's coming up this week on SmackDown tomorrow night, the season premiere of Friday Night SmackDown. Roman Reigns taking on Braun Strowman in Braun's last SmackDown match. Hence, because of the draft, because he's now officially Raw, and it's for the Universal Championship. Keep that in mind. New Day 6-man tag. It will be the New Day's farewell to SmackDown because they've been on SmackDown for a long time. So this will be the last time, or at least for a good while, depending on when the next draft will be, next year. So they may stay or may go, but whatever. It'll be New Day's farewell to SmackDown match, as they'll take on Sheamus and Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura in 6-man tag action. Daniel Bryan is going to be at SmackDown. He's going to make an appearance, as he's still on the Blue Brand, the brand he helped build up as being general manager. Robert Roode, Dolph Ziggler will take on the new / already been tag team champions, but the new SmackDown tag team champions in the Street Profits in tag team action. And then Jeff Hardy will take on Lars Sullivan, as it is Jeff Hardy's, if I said it right, Jeff Hardy's last SmackDown appearance because of the draft. And that was SmackDown this past week and this coming Friday night. Let's head on over to that Monday Night Raw, talk what's going down on the Red Brand as they are shaping up on their final Raw during this draft before we head to next week's season premiere. KO taking on Aleister Black in a no disqualification match. This one was a barn burner. I really like this. Was great action between these two, as KO and Aleister Black are, if I think I said it right, they are. They're on their final match on Raw. They had a no DQ match, as they're both heading to SmackDown for their permanent stay. So this should be very good to see. KO picking up the victory over Aleister Black. It was a crazy, awesome match. I feel like these two are going to grow and I think Aleister is going to get that push because there's no way he should not be getting a push right now for a singles title, even if it's for the Intercontinental Championship. Even if it's for the Universal title, he should be holding on to a championship right now. He's that good. AJ taking on Jeff Hardy and Seth Rollins in a triple threat match. And it was a very granted, Jeff Hardy think it was a triple threat tag team match, to challenge them both. I'm like, wait, what are we forgetting that they kind of need partners? If it's all three of you and AJ's not really a tag team, doesn't have a partner, and you don't have a partner. The only partner that Seth has is Murphy, and they're kind of not on a speaking term kind of thing. So, crazy. But AJ Styles picking up the victory over Jeff Hardy and Seth Rollins, thanks to Elias coming back, smacking the guitar over Jeff Hardy. Still pissed that he ran him over, even though we kind of figured it. We all figured it was going to be that Sheamus had set him up. But still, Elias is back. AJ Styles picks up the victory in a triple threat match on Raw. Tag team women's action. Dana Brooke, Mandy Rose taking on Lana and Natalya. And I do not envy, Lana and Natalya. They have had the most interesting run as a tag team to date. If it's not, mostly with TikTok, being friends, and Lana just hyping up Natalya being the best women's wrestler, the longest tenured wrestler on Raw, and it's just like, okay. And then of course every week Lana getting put through a announce table with the Samoan drop thanks to Nia Jax. So that one's just been so poor for Lana. But Dana Brooke, Mandy Rose pick up the victory. And then afterwards, Natalya just fed up with Lana's like, I'm done with this tag team thing. So peace. Angel Garza taking on Andrade in the fight of former tag team partners. Still, Angel Garza and Andrade, I think it's finally time. I am happy that they have finally broken this tag team up. These guys have been fighting for the longest time. When they weren't fighting against each other, bickering and all that, they were actually a decent tag team. But since they're now kind of broken up, I'm actually kind of glad about this. But to say the least, on the other side, we're losing another tag team, which the tag team division kind of needs, because for the longest time, it's just been Andrade, Angel Garza, and the Street Profits, or the Viking Raiders. So it was getting very stale over there for the Red brand. But now it's not their problem because now we have the draft and we get to see new tag teams. Angel Garza picks up the victory on Andrade, and then New Day defending their newly won Raw Tag Team Championships against Rude and Dolph Ziggler. And this was a great match to go and check out with the New Day and Robert Roode, Dolph Ziggler. It's such a tragedy that we're not going to see these two hook up again, because Rude and Ziggler are on SmackDown. New Day switched over to Rude and Ziggler at SmackDown. New Day is on Raw. But I'm actually looking forward to what the tag division is going to look like on Raw. And I'll get back to that in a small little bit. Ricochet taking on Cedric Alexander. If Ricochet wins, the Hurt Business stays out of his business. There's no more trying to recruit him. They go their separate ways, and they don't have to deal with each other anymore. If Cedric Alexander wins, then Ricochet joins the Hurt Business. And you know what? I love this match the most because we got to see these two, former best friends go at it. And to say the least, it was one of those moments where you could just pinpoint where, that was just so smart to do, because we got to see a old school throwback for one Eddie Guerrero, because we got to see MVP toss in the chair, and we got to see Ricochet grab it, getting surrounded like, okay, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Wait. Think about it. Oh, wait. Ref's coming up. And we get to see him hit the chair on the floor, toss it over, and ref sees it, turns around, and pulls the old Eddie Guerrero disqualification with the chair. I feel like Eddie would approve that, would you? Yeah, just that little Eddie Guerrero right there. It was so beautifully done. I love that moment. That was just so awesome to see an Eddie Guerrero throwback right there. I loved it. It was so awesome to say the least. And then Battle Royal, a dual branded Battle Royal to determine who's going to challenge the Raw Women's Champion next week on Raw's season premiere. And we all thought it was going to be Natalya. She knocked out Lacey Evans. And then all of a sudden, Lana comes in and just shocks Natalya and shocked everyone, because now Raw's Women's Champion Asuka is going to take on Asuka will take on Lana one-on-one next week on Raw's season premiere. And you know what? I cannot say I'm not surprised that they're going to do that, but it's one of those things where Lana better have a plan, and then a plan on top of a plan to get that Raw Women's title away, because she better have some friends, she better make some friends and learn how, figure out something, because I do not see Asuka losing to Lana next Monday night on Raw. I do not see that happening. I would be shocked. I would be shocked in awe if that actually happened and Lana wins the Raw Women's title after the last several weeks, actually even more, several weeks of just getting Samoan dropped by Nia Jax through an announce table weeks on end, to come back then, the first Raw after the draft next week and win the Raw Women's Championship. I will be dumbstruck, shocked if that happens. Good God, I do not see it happening. But crazier things have happened. It is 2020. But that is Raw essentially for this coming week, and that was Raw for the week. So I'm going to actually go straight into talking about Hell in a Cell quickly, because we only know about 3 matches. We have 3 matches on the books right now, and it is going to be so interesting, to say the least, because with Hell in a Cell coming up, and we are going to see 3 Hell in a Cell matches. We have 3 on the books, 3 Hell in a Cell matches. We have Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton inside Hell in a Cell for the WWE Championship. We have Sasha and Bayley for the SmackDown Women's title inside Hell in a Cell. I can't wait for that one. And then, of course, this one with a twist. Roman taking on Jey Uso inside Hell in a Cell under I Quit rules. That is going to be vicious. The fact that we're going to have an I Quit match inside Satan's home, inside the Devil's Playground, Hell in a Cell, where careers have been shortened, lives have been altered, and bodies have been thrown off, through, backdrop through, and just utter chaos, where tag teams have decimated each other. Oh, I cannot wait to see what they're going to do with I Quit rules inside Hell in a Cell. It is just going to be sweet. Oh, I can't wait for that. It is going to be so awesome. And I can even hear Matt even saying this a lot of time. What the f***? Literally, it's going to be that kind of a night. Just utter destruction and chaos. So, but that is Hell in a Cell for what we know. In 10 days, literally 10 days from right now, Hell in a Cell is going to be upon us, and it's going to be fun. So let's head on over to talk what happened on Dynamite quickly before we get to NXT and see what happened this past week with don't need, go away, Hell in a Cell. I'm not near you for right now. So Helen Dynamite this past week celebrated the 1 year anniversary of Dynamite being on TNT. It was the 1 year anniversary show. So, you know, it was great. 1 year ago, we had Dynamite premiere, and it was awesome.
Woohoo!
Yeah, I couldn't say any better myself, man. Just great that we had these awesome, this awesome year with Dynamite, and it has improved so much with wrestling fans in general. It's just been great. And I cannot wait for the next year to see what they're going to do, what's going to be coming around the bend for AEW. It's going to be great. But Dynamite this past week was all the titles were on the line, up for grabs, as we had the tag team titles on the line with FTR taking on Best Friends. Great outing for Best Friends. Just came up short for them as FTR retained the tag titles. Tag team action, Miro and Kip Sabian taking on Lee Johnson and Sean Maluta. I want to say that's right. Great match. In general, Miro and Kip Sabian picking up the victory in a great tag team match right there. TNT title was on the line. And it went the distance, guys. It went the distance to a time limit draw. So I don't know what else to say. It was a great time limit draw match for Cody and Darby Allin, because they wrecked the show. It was a great match for Cody to retain the TNT title. I couldn't have been any more happier with that, because it was literally a great match this past week for the TNT title. I mean, I feel like the TNT title is going to get a lot of great more matches coming up. Is going to help elevate that brand a whole lot. And to see Cody, what he's done with the title, and of course, help get more people on TV and give them opportunities, is great. Sorry, it was Orange Cassidy. I thought it was Darby for a second. I was thinking of what his next title defense is going to be at Full Gear against Darby. It was, yeah, that's what I was thinking. It was Darby Allin that's going to challenge for the TNT title at Full Gear. So that's why I was thinking Full Gear for Darby Allin. If I said it wrong, I know I did. So Orange Cassidy actually had a great match. It just literally slipped my mind. Women's title is on the line. Haruka Shida taking on Big Swole, and I've been liking the women's division a little bit. Not as impressive as what I've been seeing with NXT and, of course, WWE's women's roster. I just feel like they can step up a little bit more. I mean, yeah, there's some women on AEW that I really like. Evilise, Allie, Brandy Rhodes, and I'm liking Big Swole and Dr. Britt Baker, but I just feel like their women's champion, for some reason, I'm not connecting to her a whole lot. So, but I mean, she's a hell of a damn good wrestler. It was a great match on AEW this week. She retains the title. And then Mox taking on Lance Archer in a AEW world title match. Mox retaining on Lance Archer as he got his #1 contenders match from the Battle Royal that he won back a few weeks ago at the last pay-per-view. What was it? All Out? I'm like, feel like I have to try to remember. I'm trying to remember their pay-per-views. I want to say it was All Out. It's going to bother me now that I have to go back and relook, try to remember when. Yeah, it was All Out. All Out when he won the Casino Battle Royal to get the title shot. So, yeah, it was several weeks ago. Yeah, back in September. It's just so long ago for me. Yeah. That you kind of forget, oh, when are they going to challenge? But okay. Either way, it was a great match, great night of Dynamite. We do know the world title eliminator tournament bracket coming up for over the next several weeks. So, and we know that the finals is going to be at Full Gear next month. Penta Zero. I'm just. Here we go again. Try again. Penta L0M taking on Ray Phoenix, either, aka Pentagon Jr. Kenny Omega taking on Joey Janela. Colt Cabana taking on Adam Hangman Page, and Wardlow taking on Jungle Boy. That is the first round of the tournament, and the finals taking place at Full Gear next month in November. And that was AEW for the week. Head on over to NXT, get some last little bit stuff done. Undisputed Era, Bobby Fish and Roderick Strong challenging Danny Burch and Oni Larkin in a number one contenders match for the tag team titles. It was an awesome match. Fish coming back strong. It's nice to actually see these guys tag team again. Even though O'Reilly's still a little bit more, I feel like he should be in the title picture for the NXT title. It's going to be a very interesting situation with Adam Cole once he gets back, because obviously I feel like they're going to try to tease maybe a breakup of these two. These guys go at it, but it's just one of those feelings you have that when you add another undisputed member or Undisputed Era member into the world title picture, which Adam Cole's been dominating for the last year or so, it's going to get a little choppy. So hopefully this really doesn't mess with Undisputed Era and breaking them up, because they've been the best thing going on NXT. But Fish and Strong beating Danny Burch and Oni Larkin to challenge Breezango for the tag team titles coming up soon. Hope it's at Halloween Havoc, or I literally cannot wait for it. Jake Atlas taking on Ashante Thre Adonis. So match, didn't really care for it that much. Jake Atlas picking up the victory. Johnny Gargano taking on Austin Theory. Gargano picking up the victory. Looking to become again another, again with the North American title, trying to get another title shot with that. Candice LeRae beats Shotzi, the host of Halloween Havoc, to become the number one contender for the women's title again. Toni Storm defeating Aaliyah with Robert Stone in her corner. Toni Storm making her return to NXT. It was awesome. Imperium defeating Drake Maverick and Killian Dane in their tag team match. I'm liking the Drake Maverick and Killian Dane tag team. I mean, this is one of those Killian doesn't want to be in a tag team. He just wants to beat people up. Drake thinking that they are in a tag team. It's that, yin and yang kind of, mentality where they don't want to. Actually, sorry, it's that opposites attract mentality right there. So I want to see this, how this plays out if they eventually get the tag team titles, and go for them. It's going to be fun. And then Damian Priest retaining the North American title over Dexter Lumis, and then afterwards, Johnny Gargano attacking Damian, laying him out, and then we find out that their matches, Johnny's match for the North American title against Damian Priest, And Candice's match for the women's title against Io Shirai at Halloween Havoc coming up in 2 weeks from last night is going to be a very special stipulations because their matches are throwbacks. Their matches are going to be decided by spin the wheel, make the deal. Oh, I cannot wait. It is going to be so good, to say the least. Just to see what matches, I mean, literally what was already on the wheel, what we could see, or what I was able to, and even find, just look through pictures. We have on the wheel. It may change, it may not change. So changes could be happening. But we got Shotzi's Choice, a Weapons Wild match, a TLS match. I'm thinking it's going to be tables, ladders, and skulls. I want to say just because it's Halloween themed. Blindfold match, a casket match. There was one I don't know what the lamppost one's going to be. It just the way how it looked on a couple of pictures I've seen. To just double check. Let me just Halloween Havoc, and yeah, just going back and seeing these pictures, the pictures, of course, of what better one, the coal miner's glove, a casket match, Chamber of Horrors match, a biker chain match, buried alive, Devil's Playground match, a boiler room brawl. Oh, it's a trick or treat street fight. Okay, that was the one. That was when I was trying to figure out, because you look up close to it, it was just like, what was it? So a trick or treat street fight, and then a table. Look, I want to say it's a tables, ladders, and skull match, but I have to get a better visual of that. But yeah, just a lot of interesting matches for Halloween Havoc that could be coming on that NXT show. I mean, could you imagine Johnny Gargano and Damian Priest for the North American title in a buried alive match? I kind of would be. I would be interested in that one, to say the least. Or even Candice LeRae and Io Shirai in a casket match for the NXT Women's title. I could see that. Or even if it lands on Shotzi's Choice, I would not be surprised if she chose Boiler Room Brawl or the Chamber of Horrors. So a lot of interesting matches that could happen. I mean, I really kind of don't want to see a blindfold match. If to be frank, I don't want to see a blindfold match. It just looks like it would just be, if you guys remember Triple H versus D'Lo Brown, when Eric Bischoff brought, Raw Roulette, and they had to do the blindfold match, and it was just, it is entertaining. I'll give it that. But for the North American title and an NXT Women's title, I don't see putting them in a blindfold match, because when one is in the when one Gargano's in the match, the other one is going to do something, and it's going to cause chaos. Proven, fact. This last pay-per-view, it was crazy at TakeOver 31. We saw it happen there. So I feel like we could get some great matches at Halloween Havoc with Spin the Wheel, Make the Deal. And then, of course, Rhea Ripley taking on Raquel Gonzalez one more time at Halloween Havoc. I cannot wait for Halloween Havoc. It's going to be hella good. I'm going to be sitting down with my have popcorn and just be intrigued with what is going to happen. I wouldn't even be surprised if we had a Halloween Havoc Part 2 for November, just to continue Halloween Havoc. It has that feel that still, but I would have liked to even better if it was a pay-per-view. Bring Halloween Havoc as a pay-per-view for Takeover. Oh, that next year. That is something for next year. But yeah, and that is it. For what has happened over the week in wrestling. Before we, close out the show, before we head on out of here and, go our separate ways for a week, we actually got a request from one of you guys. I kid you not. We got a request from one of you Flex Network followers out there to make a suggestion of, reviewing something for us. And when we got this, I'm like, oh, this is interesting. I like this. We got a request from. Let me bring up the lovely gentleman who made this request. We had a request from, and I know I'm probably going to say the name wrong, but Nick Apolowski, and I'm sorry if I said the name wrong. Literally, I have bad. I can butcher names horribly, but Nick Apolowski gave us a request to review something off the WWE Network, and it was a throwback in the Coliseum home video selection. And in this request, he wants us to go over and review Sunny's Coliseum home video. Just her Coliseum home video. Way long time ago, back in '96. And to say the least, short. I'm going to give the shorts version. This video that is, on Coliseum home video for Sunny, which basically has recapped, shown her for how she was able to get 3 straight runs as a tag team champion manager. And what, obviously showing her as, as a manager, and it has the full matches of what happened with these 3 straight runs as WWF tag team champion manager back in '96. And to say the least, I'm sure you guys will be able to go back on the network, and you could go and watch these these full pay-per-views, of course, and the Raw that she's on. But it basically the three matches that were on this video, back in the day, but it's on the network right now. It shows her first work with her first tag team with the Bonnie Donnas at WrestleMania 12, winning the WWF Tag Team Championships. And if I can remember, I had in my notes of who were the tag team champions. Just gotta refine it. Of what? Because it was WrestleMania 12. Oh, it was against the Godwins for the vacant tag team titles. And it was on, Free for All was the pre-show, so it wasn't on pay-per-view. But it was a great match. It was a short match with the Bonnie Donnas and the Godwins in the finals for the tag team, for the vacant tag team titles. And then it basically will show off, goes into how she kind of got a contract signed, and how the Godwins had a new manager with Sunny, and how it was a quick little clip it of how they won the tag team titles at Madison Square Garden, and then how she worked her way to become the Smoking Guns manager, and how they won the tag team titles at In Your House Beware of Dog 1 on the pre-show. and everything that happened with betraying the god, Phineas Godwin, and eventually getting slapped, which was kind of funny. And then how after the Smoking Guns had lost the titles at In Your House Mind Games, how she just peaced out. So, it's a good, just a good showing of how she became a manager for 3 straight tag team champions. So that's an impressive feature right there. Just to, I don't think I've ever seen anyone else jump from tag team to tag team to tag team. And when when someone was a manager, become tag team champion, switch to a new team, becomes tag team championship on that time at that moment, and then switched again to become tag team champions. And then also how she was a manager for Farouk, and the match on Raw on September 23rd for the vacant Intercontinental Championship in the tournament against Mark Marrow. So it just showed some highlight. Basically it was just a quick rundown of how impressive Sunny was, and then of course how she gets ready for Shotgun Saturday Night. How she gets ready with her makeup and whatever outfit she was going to wear for one show. So it's a good little video to go back and rewatch. I mean, if you find it at a garage sale, somewhere, on eBay, or even go and check it out on the WWE Network. Is Sunny's Coliseum home video. And it's just something good to go out and watch. And for everyone out there that's probably listening, well, it's Sunny, so it's probably something sexy. And it's like, it's not. I mean, maybe at the very end, it's basically just she's just gonna play her intro video, but her music, her Titantron theme. So that's it. But it's not what everyone will probably think, because it is Sunny, and it's 1996. So, but otherwise, it's just showing 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, showing 4 full matches, 3 from pay-per-views, and 1 from Monday Night Raw. So other than that, I mean, it's a good video to go out and check out if you want to see something. But yeah, other than that, that's just a review for you guys. But go ahead and check that out on the WWE Network. That is actually going to be it for me today here on the wrestling side of the world. I know that we got a lot of housekeeping stuff to get through. So let's actually get through it before we peace out for the week. Just gotta get that settle down for a little bit. Losing my breath here for the moment. All right. So if you guys are watching this, you should be following or listening to this on podcast. You should be following us at the Flex, on the Flex Network. You should be following us on Facebook. You should be following us on Twitter. You should be following us on YouTube. And you can find us on podcasts. So, but for Facebook, you should be following us on the Flex Network. That's where we'll be broadcasting all of our shows every week, for football, for fantasy football talk, for wrestling. Literally, we love doing this stuff, guys. It's fun. On Twitter, you should be following us for your football and fantasy football needs and content at the Flex Network 1. And then on the other side of the spectrum, you should be following us for wrestling. I'm there to, tweet out with the wrestling, what's going on there. You should be following us at FlexNet_PW Elite. That's where you find your wrestling content. If you got questions, hit us up there with wrestling. If you got questions about football, hit us over there. We got it. We will be there for you to answer your questions. Every Thursday, I will be here for the Flex Network Wrestling Weekend Review Show for pro wrestling. I will be here for that show. Wednesdays, during NFL season, we have our NFL Week in Review show. We talk about what happened the previous week. We look ahead to next week, and we make picks. We talk football, and it's fun, guys. Literally, we had a blast last night, and literally, you can't get anything better when you throw someone their quote right back in their face that they've actually said, like this.
Don't care that they have a third-string quarterback. All you need is a warm body to turn around and hand the ball off and play defense.
Yeah, you get to that clip will never die now here on the Flex Network. That clip will never die. So love you, Flex Mike. But yeah, other than that, and then of course you got Flex Matt, you got Alan Seslowski, you got Flex Shane. We have a lot of people here that are into football. They have their own shows during the week to get you guys ready for, fantasy football, who you guys need to be picking up and looking at on your fantasy wire, who you guys need to be picking up on these, like DraftKings and, other sites. I forget which sites they are. Oh, wait a minute. Here it is. On Thrive Fantasy. You can also go there and they'll help you out with that too. So, but make sure you guys tune in for those shows and give a like to these guys. They really put in the hard work for everyone. But that's going to be it for me this week. Of course, we're also on podcasts. So we're also on Spotify, Apple. If we're not where you get your podcast, stuff at, let us know. We'll get there and we'll continue to flex. But that's going to be it for me this week. I am the SnowMan, and I will see you guys next week. Peace out.
This has been the Pro Wrestling Week in Review show.
We got some fellow Canadians.
But when you're from Calgary,
Where's that?
Alberta, Canada,
A one-way first-class ticket to Larryland. What is it with you folks coming to Florida? Stay in your own country. This is the Flex Network. This is the Flex Network. Flex on them. Flex on everybody. Right here. Why me? Why me? Why me?
don't blame Canada, blame yourself.
Feels like showtime every minute to me. I can't help it. No. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Ta-ta for now.
We're out of time. Good night on Nitro.
The preceding announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Well, you're welcome, Jurassic Slap Ass.